On debate number 1, Pawan Verma of the JDU, Maruf Raza, a strategic affairs expert, India's most trusted strategic affairs voice, Maruf Raza, Sambit Patra of the BJP, Sanjay Jha of the Congress Party, Jayanta Ghoshal, editor of the Anand Bazar Patrika from Delhi, and we have with us Kamal Mitra Chenoy, professor of JNU and from the Aam Aadmi Party. Thank you very much. Let's begin. How did this happen, Sambit Patra? You got the map of India wrong. I mean, this is disgraceful.
Arnav, at the outset itself, let me clarify a very important point, that no MoUs are ever signed with maps in it. They are documents of agreement which have a dotted line.
This is a press release.
And no map whatsoever.
This is a press release put out. This is a press release put out on the sidelines of the MoU being signed. So let's not deny, what exactly happened. The MoUs were signed on September 17th.
MoU documentation, you can please...
The MoUs were signed on September 17th. Sambit Patra. Sambit Patra, did the additional Chief Secretary of Gujarat? Did the additional Chief Secretary of Gujarat?
Are never signed with maps in
Oh my God,
did the additional Chief... There are no maps attached to the agreement.
All right, so
this is categorical. Well, yes, if a press release was distributed with the map, then the Minister of State has clarified that we would surely be investigating into it to see whether a wrong map was put in the press release.
Investigating?
Not in the MoU.
You sure? No. So, and I'm sorry. I don't understand this kind of logic anymore. Would you have been quiet if the additional Chief Secretary of a Congress-ruled or a JDU-ruled state would have put out a wrong map of India that challenged India's claims or challenged India's position of the map? Would you have been silent if the whole of Jammu and Kashmir was displayed on the map of the government of India as a disputed territory? And even if that was not in the MoU, the fact is it was an official press release. Hand goes up there. Sanjay Jha, I think, is taking on Sambit Patra right on top today. Yes, Sanjay Jha, please. Sanjay Jha is taking you on, sir. 1 minute. Sanjay Jha is taking you on, sir. Let him, sir.
Who in front of the Chinese
Arnav,
about the border dispute for the first time after all these years. Are we doubting our Prime Minister's intentions?
Sir, I'm talking about the magnitude of the goof up. I'm talking about the magnitude of the goof up, which you have not admitted.
Yeah.
Which you are covering up for.
We will surely investigate.
Investigate. You give up 1,000. An official map shows 1,20,000 square kilometers of India, and Arunachal Pradesh, very much a part of India with 1.5 million people, million citizens, shown as disputed. Right. And you can't even come on Newshour and say, I'm really sorry, this is inexcusable, it should have never happened. Sanjay Jha.
One thing actually has to go out to the people of the country that MoUs never have maps attached.
Oh, please,
what is particularly disconcerting.
Yes, a wrong press release was given out. It is a matter of investigation, and heads would surely roll out as the Home Minister has.
Sanjay Jha.
Sambit, just give me a minute. You know the point, Sambit, that we need to recognize that just a few days ago, not even weeks ago, the Chinese government released its official map claiming Arunachal Pradesh as part of China. And I think, this is something which is absolutely preposterous, that at a time when the Chinese president is visiting India, the Indian Prime Minister is present there, an integral, indivisible, inseparable, you can use any other word, inalienable part of India, which is not just Arunachal Pradesh, but even Aksai Chin, by the way. We believe this is part of India, and this is India's territories. So you can't really, I think this is a blasphemous error, frankly. And why
we may be different political
one minute,
let me finish something.
You cannot send such an image of subservience, subordination and softness here. I think the Indian government, please try and understand. Sambit, the Chinese can exploit it in a global media. They can say that this has an official endorsement because the Prime Minister is present when an official sign-up is happening between one state and one other province of China. I mean, you can't afford to dismiss this as, some kind of a political attack on you. This is not about politics. You've got to recognize that today we don't even allow magazines to come to India which show Jammu and Kashmir as a disputed territory, because that is a misrepresentation of fact.
The Congress tried
now
to
one minute.
mislead the
I am not
country by
making a
saying that
comment
MoU was
on Mr.
signed
Modi's
with these
56
maps
inch
in
ki
it,
chhati
when
statements.
you know very well
But please
that
let me
MoUs
assure
can never
you,
be signed with a
India's
leaflet of map
territorial
in it. They are never
boundaries
signed with
are
maps.
not up
They are
for a
just
real estate
agreements,
transaction.
and there were dotted lines for
India's
signature.
territorial
So why did the
boundaries
Congress
are not
mislead the
up for a
nation?
real estate
You are
transaction.
trying to gain
This is not
political
part of a
benefit
commercial
by
deal
misleading
with
the nation.
China.
That is
You
wrong.
know, Sambit Patra.
You got to be sacrosanct.
Sambit Patra, while
You've got to treat India's borders
Sambit
with
Patra.
respect.
Sambit Patra, just a minute. Kamal Mitra Chana wants to come in. Pawan Verma wants to come in. Maruf and Jayanti are observing this debate with mild amusement, if I may say so. Now, Sambit Patra, understand this tonight. You know, you have no place to run. And you cannot afford to put up a muster an excuse for the simple reason that this press release is behalf of a state government issued by the second most important bureaucrat of the state government. The Congress party says in that case you just cancel those MoUs and do them all over again. And Arunachal Pradesh is marked out.
That is why the Congress party is misleading the nation, Arnab. You have to understand the Congress.
Arnab, I want to give a context to this.
MoUs have maps
you
attached
don't
to
understand.
it. MoUs never have
Sambit,
maps
if
attached
those
to it. They are
maps are, if those maps are part of the press
so the Congress
release,
should stop
do you realize the importance of press kits? Do you realize the importance of media kits? They are distributed, they are copied, they are distributed all over the world on the internet. An official document, a map becomes an attachment to the MoU.
But you should say
nobody's challenging you MoU if it's good for the country.
But
an attachment of a map can send an extremely wrong signal. It's as if you are admitting that Arunachal Pradesh is not a part of India.
You know, I have got a
ammunition and arsenal to the Chinese.
Jammu and Kashmir
Anyway, aggressive and acquisitive in the whole intent.
I have got a
debate on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, 1 second, please. Gentlemen, 1 second, please. Gentlemen, one ceasefire. I have an official clarification that's now being sent out by the Gujarat government. I may say so. This clarification is completely and wholly incomplete. It says that the map is showing the exact location of the Guangdong province of China and the Guangzhou city in China. Are we talking about this province and this city? No, we're talking about Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh. Then it says it is neither signed by any government of Gujarat officials nor endorsed by the government of Gujarat. They acknowledge the map is there, the map is given out as part of an official press release. Then they say the map shows the location and other data such as geographical area, population per capita, etc., and was not part of the MoU signed. So this is the same kind of feeble explanation that Sambit Patra is putting out today. I'm really sorry. If the BJP spokesperson says the Congress party is lying, if the BJP wants to say on the Newshour tonight that Sanjay Jha is lying,
not lying, it is misleading the nation for political gains. It is misleading the nation.
And misleading.
Maps.
You are the one. You are the one.
Abhishek
who showed that map?
You know, I'm stunned and shocked.
You cannot have a dialogue just between
Pawan Verma
mocking a map given in an official document.
And this is happening at a time when there are arguments, you know, the Chinese can misunderstand it. They can even misunderstand this as appeasement, perhaps. I'm not saying that it is. But you give them that room. Pawan Verma coming into the debate. 1 second. Pawan Verma, please.
It's surrender.
Pawan Verma, please.
Please ask Sambit and Sanjay. They have valid points if they have. Let others speak. See, Arnab, let us not say that it was the intention of the government to seize Indian territory. Let us also for a moment admit that perhaps it could have been a clerical error. But nevertheless, I want to say on record on your program that it is a self-goal of unforgivable proportions, especially in the context of the Chinese president's most recent visit. And please give me 30 seconds to explain why. We are dealing with a country like China. In May 2013, when their Prime Minister came, they sent a small body of troops across the line of actual control as a provocation.
That's
but
right.
There were not more than 40 troops. This time, during the President's visit, coinciding with his visit, it was 1,500 troops sent into the Chumar region.
Deliberately.
Backed by logistics, including food supplies by helicopter.
Deliberately.
It was a deliberately planned provocation because the Chinese president currently is the most powerful man in China. He heads both the military commission of the Chinese Communist Party and of the Chinese government. So it's not the PLA playing footsie on its own. In this scenario, you have actually, post the visit, the release of a map which actually shows a volitional surrender of territory, even if it's a clerical error.
Absolutely.
It is unforgivable.
Yes, it is.
And I want to make two more quick points. I want to say to you, why is it that 5 MoUs are signed only with one state? Mr. Modi is the Prime Minister of
What
the
are you
country,
alleging?
and if it is signed with a state, the overall supervision has to be that of the nodal ministry, the Ministry of External Affairs. This is not a bilateral
Arnav, can I
visit
come
between
in?
China and Gujarat. So it cannot just be attributed. So we have to understand this. We have to also understand,
Can I come in,
Arnav,
Arnav?
that when you carry out policy, foreign policy in such a hurry, please don't get angry. Please see the objectivity of it. I am not blaming every initiative. Some of them have been laudable. But in 100 days, look at the amount of time devoted to foreign policy. Foreign policy is a very carefully thought out, calibrated initiative based on a strategic doctrine. It cannot be done through ceremonial and pageantry with one visit quickly following on another. Such mistakes are bound to happen, and they are a great embarrassment.
Yeah, even and
There is a lot to answer for.
no, but you know, no, 1 second. No, Sambit, before you come in, please understand. No, understand this, please. What you have done is inexcusable. Not what you have done, what the Gujarat government has done is inexcusable. But by refusing to accept the mistake,
was neither
by
signed by
refusing
any
to
government of
accept the
Gujarat
mistake
officials, nor endorsed by the government of Gujarat.
is unforgivable. Your own Minister of State for Home, Kiren Rijiju, hails from Arunachal Pradesh, and his own state has been marked as disputed by your state government. It is inexcusable. You can't get away saying we didn't mean to. I mean, for God's sake, what kind of a government do you run there? You run a government that runs on Wikipedia, that you pick up the wrong maps and put it up there?
That's right.
I think the country deserves an apology
Arnav,
tonight. Yes, Maru
and-
wants to
and
come in
Arnav,
before that.
explaining
Kamal
by
Mitra
the
Chana wants to come into the
government
debate.
holding,
Calls
and you
Arunachal
can
Pradesh
see what
as
the
South
Gujarat
Tibet.
government has categorically mentioned.
I have that
The Gujarat
piece of paper
government
as well. I don't know what you're waving. I just read it out.
The exact location of the 2 provinces in China, and no Gujarat official has put its signature in it.
So, Mr.
The Gujarat
Patra.
government, in fact, goes
So,
ahead to
Mr.
say
Patra,
that
let
these
me
are
ask you.
locations of data and geographical areas.
Yes, so Mr.
The
Patra.
map-
Mr. Patra, 1 second. Don't answer the wrong question.
Attempt to
ridiculous
disown a
defense.
mistake.
You are attempting to disown a mistake. The MOU does not carry the maps, but doesn't the press release? It is the press release we are talking about, an official press release we are talking about, not the MOU. And by the way, Mr. Patra, as the clarification claims. 1 second.
Goes to
Why
the
don't you just
international
admit
media.
the mistake?
Why don't you
Why are
admit the
letting
mistake? Kamal
snowball?
Mitra Chenoy. Yes,
Just
Mr.
admit
Chenoy,
the
Professor
mistake.
Chenoy.
It might be a clerical error and your mistake was not catching it. Look, there's been a very serious mistake in a map which has serious consequences given our relationship with China and also the sensitivity of Jammu and Kashmir.
That's right.
This is not the only mistake. Today, a professor at City College, Tan Sen, a professor of Asian Affairs, has said that some of the translations that were put up in Gujarat were of terrible quality. Now, you cannot keep doing this, and I think Pavan has a correct point. If you are going neck deep into foreign policy and moving very swiftly, you have to be extremely careful about these things. And maps are seen to represent sovereignty or disputed areas. And it is ironic that the BJP, the successor of the Jansang, should make mistakes about JNK and China. So it's not enough to just say we are sorry, identify the mistake, say this is why it occurred,
That's right.
why other mistakes of translation
Arnav,
occurred,
can I make an
and we are
important point
sorry.
over here?
You must do that. You can't have some clerk saying I'm sorry. This was a thing affecting.
No,
this
Mr.
is a
Kamal
thing
Mitra
affecting
Chenoy,
the
just
whole
in order
nation,
to,
as you are
the
aware,
kind
it
of
has
prudence
blown
that
up.
Mr. Narendra Modi's
But you
government
could
has
have
shown
no,
in
but some ways
diplomacy,
you could have
in
stopped
fact,
it from blowing up
is in
if you
fact
had intervened just then.
We should applaud to it. But instead of applauding to the kind of prudence that Mr. Narendra Modi's government has shown in
No, you are right in that
diplomacy, what
mistake.
you are
It is
trying to
appalling.
do is you are trying to bring down your own government, a government whose intentions are absolutely clear. We want a very strong diplomacy as far as China is concerned. He's the only prime minister
We
who
are
is
not
sharing the same
blaming
table with the president of
Narendra
China.
Modi
Categorically
just
has
like
said that we want the border
Nobody is saying that
disputes
Mr.
and border
Modi as the
disputes
Prime
be addressed.
Minister
But it is
has
the
to
politics
take
to
responsibility.
it. You are
we are
trying
hoping
to
I think-
sounding
Mr. Rajnath Singh was not talking.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I think Sambit Patra.
The Chinese president
No, I think
has to take some
see-
responsibility for a wrong map.
You see, my
This
point
map
is
very sensitive.
my point is
the
what
Home Ministry has said we would be investigating into it. If any wrong has been done, we'll surely look into it. It is not a matter that we would not be investigating. But the issue
wrong
is
has
the
been
way
done.
we are conducting a debate, questioning the intention of the foreign
Arnab.
diplomacy is wrong somewhere.
No,
and
but
as far as Congress is concerned, let me bring a very important point over here. Congress appointed
Arnab.
interlocutors for Jammu Kashmir who addressed the Pak-occupied Kashmir as Pakistan-administered Kashmir. They literally gave away Jammu Kashmir's POK portion to Pakistan, saying that
So are you competing with them
Kashmir.
on that?
Are you
No, we are
copying the
not
Congress
Are you
mistake?
competing with the what
We
kind
are
of
not
argument is that?
competing with them. In fact, most of your
What
panelists
kind of
have said
defense is
that
this?
at best it may have
I
been
mean-
a clerical error, and we are
Absurd
investigating into
and
it.
ludicrous
But their
argument.
intentions were wrong. Most of the problems that we are facing today is because of a Nehruvian policy. A
Mr.
flawed
Patra,
Nehruvian
Maruf
policy.
Raza and Jayanta Ghoshal need to come into the debate.
But
of the
Sambit, why
Chinese
not admit
aggression
you made a
where
mistake?
Arunachal Pradesh is concerned.
Sambit,
Can I-
just admit you've made a mistake. Why
Admit
can't
you made a
admit
mistake.
You made a mistake.
And look at how colossal this mistake is.
Why
Maruf,
Mitra Chinna
Sambit, listen
and the
to
Congress
others.
are hell-bound to prove that the Indian government made a mistake.
Arnab,
and
can I come in?
Times
I'm
is the
sorry,
most
but
important
can
channel in
Sambit,
the
will you
world.
give
It will
space?
be observed. Why
Will you-
do you want that? Yes. Why do
Will
you
you
want
give
that we should
space?
admit that we made a mistake? We are
Will you
investigating.
give
Yes, please.
space? Why should you? Would you have been forgiving? Has Arunachal Pradesh not been marked out in dots in the press release that has been issued? Has the press release not been issued by the Gujarat government? Was the press release not issued at a time when MoUs were being signed during Xi Jinping's visit here? Do you therefore not in a way through that press release acknowledge Arunachal as a disputed territory as well? And why give an opportunity, an arm and a leg on the other side? And most importantly, why are you being so much in denial tonight? Why don't you admit? Why don't you admit this is unforgivable? And what kind of a government are you running if you didn't even notice that somebody did this?
No,
You didn't even notice that somebody put out the wrong map of India. Maruf is coming into the debate.
The Congress.
I want to
Maruf
say
is
to my
coming in,
good
sir.
friend Sambit,
Maruf is coming into the debate.
Arnab,
Maruf is wanting to come in, and Jayanta Ghoshal hasn't spoken
Sir,
yet. Maruf.
Mr. Verma, sir, please. Yeah. Okay, now, Arnab, I just want to make a couple of quick points. The first is Mr. Patra's defense of the indefensible and the bureaucratic language that he is using to say that an investigation would be launched is a typical ploy to sidestep the issue and to cover it up. When public memories being small, this issue is forgotten. He should clearly come out and say heads will roll. India's sovereignty has been questioned by mistake or by design. Let that be sorted out in due course of time, but heads must roll. Let me give you two examples. One is that the entire conflict is based on error, where cartographic error allowed Pakistan, the Times Atlas, and others to stake claim over the Siachen Glacier, leading to a military presence, which is a 30-year-old conflict now.
Yeah.
Purely based on oversight by people in the government of India here, till one army officer, Colonel Bul Kumar, brought it to the notice of the military. That in turn took Mrs. Gandhi's permission and launched a military presence there. So China has been waiting for this. They pick up maps like this, and then it becomes an article of faith for them.
That's right.
We must come down single-handedly against that individual and demolish any doubt which is in anybody's mind. Most importantly, I want to drive home a point to the distinguished bureaucrat from Gujarat. Mr. Modi is no more the Prime Minister from Gujarat. Mr. Modi is the Prime Minister of India. And whatever MoUs and others may have been signed in Gujarat, kind courtesy the visit organized of President Xi, Gujarat must learn to understand Indian interests far surpass any bureaucratic error or any jingoism that is coming to you all to say that we are doing this and we are doing that.
Why make it
in a national context?
Why make it a Congress BJP issue? What I'm surprised by on this whole thing, Maru.
Please take stock of it and get it sorted for the next 24 hours.
Well, I'm saying why make this a Congress BJP issue? I mean, you should have been. Jayanta Ghoshal has been very quiet. Let's get him into the debate. By the way, Jayanta Ghoshal, if you don't come into a debate when there are 4 politicians in full flow, then you won't get a word in sideways. So just a word of warning to you, because Sambit Patra tonight is completely on the back foot, and the question is, the BJP should have been doubly vigilant. No, the BJP should have been doubly vigilant, which they were not. The government should have been doubly vigilant, which it was not, for the simple reason that China had attempted to do something like this as recently as the end of June. I remember when Hamid Ansari visited China on the 60th anniversary of Panchsheel, and the Ministry of External Affairs had to protest when they showed the wrong map of Arunachal Pradesh. So we have now ended up doing what the Chinese have been doing with our map all this while, Jayanta Ghoshal. Which side are you on this debate? Which side are you on this debate?
Yeah, Arnab. Yeah, I'm telling you, Arnab, I agree with you. I don't want to speak much because I am not politician. But I have a small request that when I speak, please don't disturb me. I want to say only 2-3 sentences. Number 1, I agree what Pawan has said, what Sanjay has said, that we should accept as it's a clerical, bureaucratic mistake what can give a wrong signal to the whole world. Sambit is not a government spokesman, he is a party man, party spokesman. I expect that Prime Minister office, as Pawan also mentioned, that MEA has an important role. It's not a bilateral issue. So the government of India, what government of India is saying, the state minister representing the state, it's not enough. We expect some reaction from Prime Minister's office. Tomorrow there is a press conference of the MEA spokesman. Maybe
that's right.
On the subject is on US visit, but we expect that government should clarify. Not only Gujarat government, Prime Minister office and MEA should clarify. If it is a mistake, there should be some action. I remember one small anecdote of the Vajpayee government. That time, Encyclopedia Britannica published a wrong map of Kashmir, and they mentioned that it's a disputed land.
That's right.
That time, Vajpayee government took a decision to ban the Encyclopedia Britannica in India, and they corrected the position, they apologized.
Well said. That's the problem now.
Not always a defeat.
You see, that is the issue.
Apology is not a defeat.
No, that is the issue.
But
what surprises me.
I want to mention.
Point taken.
No, but one thing, Arnav, just one sentence, that Narendra Modi's intention on China, that also we should not question.
No.
Because before election, on Arunachal Pradesh, what Narendra Modi said, that time Salman Khurshid was not very happy with those reactions, I remember. But
Mr. Ghoshal.
After that, when Chinese head was in the
Mr.
town,
Ghoshal.
what government of India communicated
Mr. Ghoshal, Jayanta,
on
listen to me.
Arunachal Pradesh on one China policy.
No, Jayanta Ghoshal. Jayanta Ghoshal, hear me out for a minute. Hear me out for a minute, Jayanta Ghoshal.
There is a big canvas
Can I say something?
Also,
sorry to interrupt you there.
For one micro mistake, you cannot jump to the conclusion that the whole macro policy is wrong.
One minute. So you are arguing on both sides. No, 1 second. Sanjay Chah, just a minute. You are arguing on both sides. A, that is not allowed on the news. I told you to take a position on this. The bottom line is not this. The bottom line is the context. What is happening today? And by the way, it's a micro mistake. It's a fairly big micro mistake. A. B. Why is the government quiet so far? C. Why is the BJP looking defensive? Why are they trying to bury it? I mean, they made a big goof up. This is happening at a time, by the way, 1 second, when the Chinese have been trying to make incursions.
If there is a mistake, there is a FOFA, they should take action.
Well, why have they? Now, if they take action, they'll be taking action coaxed and pushed and cajoled by the media to act on something as unforgivable as this. I think Pawan Verma wanted to come in, Kamal Mitra Chinoy wanted to come in. Ladies and gentlemen, this goof up comes at a time when the Chinese have been trying to make incursions into Indian territory. We know what's happening in Chumar. You know what's happening in Demchok. Flag meetings have failed and the Chinese have been amassing troops on the border.
And Nirmala Sitharaman had gone to China In fact, just before that, China had printed a wrong map. And Nirmala ji and Hani ji, in fact, had taken up the issue of cartographic depiction with Chinese government. So please don't doubt the intention of the government ever.
You know something?
I mean, over here, the clarification of the Gujarat government has already come. It has already come. The map shows the location and other data of the geographical area, population, per capita, etc. The map was not signed by any Gujarat government official and was not part of the MoU signed. So I believe
I don't think the Bharatiya Janata Party has understood the seriousness of this error. It's a sacrilegious, it's a blasphemous error. I don't think the Bharatiya Janata Party is still acknowledging that this can be gravely abused or misused
I want to
by the
ask
Chinese
you one question. If you have realized within yourself the seriousness of this whole clerical error,
withdrawing the map?
Instead of quietly coming and telling us, why are you making this into an international affair? Why do you want to shout
you realize that the Chinese have been calling Arunachal Pradesh as South Tibet?
My question is,
the Chinese are looking at Arunachal Pradesh like Taiwan.
Mistake, then the Congress,
don't you realize that?
in keeping the view of the larger national interest, should have shared
Arnab, with due respects, I think somebody is belittling and trivializing the enormity and the gravity of
Mr. Jha.
What does the Congress want
Mr.
to
Jha. No, Mr. Jha, I have one second. Mr. Jha. Mr. Jha, 1 second. Can I observe something at this stage of the debate? It's now 33 minutes past 9. A lot of BJP supporters and Congress supporters on both sides were extremely worked up. Some of you are calling into our newsroom. We're not taking callers tonight on this debate. But Mr. Jha, please, I love the muscularity that the Congress party has got on foreign policy, don't you? Where did you get these diplomatic biceps? 1 second, sir. Where were these diplomatic biceps and triceps? When you refuse to acknowledge that the Chinese had intruded 19 kilometers into our territory, when your foreign minister Salman Khurshid refused to accept it, when you accepted it, you said it is localized, you laughed at the media and called it acne, when you tolerated a gross violation of our sovereignty, when you continued to ignore the brewing trouble at the border when the media made a big deal of it, you took on the media. In fact, if I may reveal tonight, the Prime Minister's office tried to bulldoze vis-a-vis the media at that point of time. The Prime Minister's office of Dr. Manmohan Singh. And on maps,
the Chinese to withdraw
Sanjay Jha.
But this is serious. This is an official approbation on the territorial sanctity of India. I mean,
really?
Let us not compare apples and oranges.
And this, I like this.
Weeks, but we drove them out.
I like
but look
this.
At this.
I like what moral authority do you have?
The explosive value of it being misrepresented and abused by the Chinese authorities.
And
this is in fact an official document.
You are not
this has gone as part of a media
if you realize
in close proximity to the Prime Minister of India.
Somewhere, and that was not good for the country.
We cannot ignore
all the Congress could have
how
done
serious and grave this issue is.
You should have quietly shared it.
Anyway, I'm not here to bash BJP on this issue. This concerns India.
Silly mistake
this concerns India. I'm not getting into a political tutu with you.
Over the national interest, you had kept the national interest.
You
want to score some.
It is a national
Sambit Patra and Sanjay Jha.
It is a national interest.
Well, I like it. 1 second, Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, just a minute, please. Hold yourself back for a minute. You tonight, so I'm seeing both your irritation go up and I see your hand go up there. I see both go up there. I'm coming to you in a minute, Pawan Varma, but I must just make a small observation here. You know, for years, we told the Congress party, what moral authority do you have? What moral, today you talk about, all this, I don't know, in September 2011, there was a man called A.K. Antony, right, in 2011. He was the Defense Minister of India. And you know what kind of a ridiculous, if I may say so, blasphemous, incompetent reply he gave when he was asked about the intrusion. He said something like, we go into each other's area. Sometimes our troops enter their territory. Sometimes our people go there. And, we continue to have these jolly good differences in perception. Having done that, having compromised our sovereignty, I am also asking you tonight. I have every right to ask the Gujarat government why it messed up, and I have every right to ask the BJP why it's not acknowledging the mistake. But what right do you have, sir? Sanjay Jha, what moral authority do you have? You failed the people of India when you were in power, repeatedly on the issue of China. You did, and now your silence reveals itself. Pawan Verma.
Maintained the
Pawan Verma.
This is
and the
precisely
Pawan
what I
Verma.
want to comment
nature
on.
of our borders.
Pawan Verma.
And we did not allow any official fiasco to happen
Arnab,
with the kind
Pawan
of
Verma,
this
please.
debate to another level.
Pawan Verma.
Sanjay, allow me. Arnab, whether it's the BJP
Sure.
or the
Sure, sir.
UPA or in general the government of India, this wrongful depiction has a background of a very serious neglect by successive government
Yeah.
of the border infrastructure that our defense needs in order to protect a over 4,000 kilometer line of actual control with China. China can move 30 divisions of 500,000 men to the line of actual control in 30 days. It has built 3,000 kilometers of highways on its side of the border and 2,000 kilometers of railway lines for supplies. Both the UPA, the government before it and the current government, I'm sorry to say, is very keen to have the ceremonial and the pageantry of foreign policy without understanding that with a country like China, you cannot interact from a position of weakness. Our defense border infrastructure has been neglected. And I want to say that in that context, please allow me to finish. I want to say in that context, sir, I want to say in that context, sir, this depiction, Sambit, I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. Please have the courtesy and manners.
Sambit, let him complete.
Please have the courtesy. It's not fair to you by trying to filibuster.
Calm down, sir.
I
Let him
accept
complete.
that it could be a mistake. I accept that it could be a mistake. Nobody is doubting the intent. I just want to say that this error, if it is that, is particularly egregious and inexplicable in the light of this situation and what happened during the Chinese president's visit. We should have been extra careful. Because there was an affront to the nation during the president's visit to have the most major border incursion across our borders.
And what was the Ministry of External Affairs doing? Are they so incompetent they did not notice? 1 second. Two hands going up there. Kamal Mitra Chenoy, Maruf Raza, both want to come in. Once, I'm afraid you're going to have to hear them. Kamal Mitra Chenoy first, then I'll come to you, Sambit. Maruf, you can respond to Sambit after that. Kamal Mitra Chenoy, yes, please. Clearly, you're not getting an apology tonight. You've been repeatedly asking for it. You're not getting an apology tonight. And I think the point is, what was the Ministry of External Affairs doing? The admission of a mistake has been made into some kind of a big ego issue, it seems. Yes, please. Kamal Mitra Chenoy. Yes, please.
Well, that's exactly the point. You are dealing with extremely sensitive matters when you're talking to President Xi. I would have expected double scrutiny, triple scrutiny. How is it that this mistake is made when you are talking to a very powerful state whose interests are often diametrically opposed to India? I mean, how can you make the mistake then? You can't blame it on one map reader or one person or two or three people. This is something that should have been checked threadbare, because this is not only an emotive issue, but a serious issue for Indian nationalism and Indian national aspirations to a border which is clear. I mean, this is a very serious matter.
Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say one thing to our viewers once again. A lot of you calling in tonight. No,
there was a mistake.
We are not open. We are not open to calls tonight, but the debate becomes extremely important because the BJP has been at the forefront of all the attacks on the Congress UPA government when it did not take up with China issues of maps that have been used elsewhere, which have shown Arunachal Pradesh as a disputed territory. And now tonight, Sambit Patra finds himself in a strange... Yes?
Arnab,
I'm going to take...
I would be given chance to speak.
I will give you a chance, but what I'm going to do, Maruf and Jayanto, I don't know tonight whether Mr. Patra will apologize. Maruf and Jayanto Ghoshal, do you get a feeling that Sambit Patra feels that if he apologizes on the Newshour tonight for the mistake, that it will amount to a political... 1 second, sir.
I should be the first one to answer the questions now.
And yes, you will, but I have every right to take a point of view from Maruf Raza and Jayanto Ghoshal, who have been listening very patiently while you've dominated the debate so far. So Maruf and Jayanto, do you feel very briefly, let's take your views in, because the BJP seems to object to your participation this evening. But do you get a feeling?
No, you have not given enough time to the BJP to respond to it.
I will give you enough time.
That the Congress,
I will give you time when I give you time.
The Congress is misleading the nation to score some brownie points. It has kept the national interest in the way. This Congress party was trying to mislead the nation by saying that the maps are part of MoU. Maps are never part of MoU.
The Congress
government knew this.
You're responsible to 125 crore people of India. Stop making allegations here.
Trying to mislead the nation. The Congress
how can you rationalize and defend an absolutely blasphemous mistake?
How was your spokesperson?
I'm astonished how you're continuing on your tirade to blame the opposition. This is our job. It is the job of the opposition to raise issues where the government is making monumental, I call it a Himalayan blunder.
Both of you need to apologize.
You have committed a Himalayan blunder. Mr. Patra, you have committed a Himalayan blunder. The Prime Minister needs to explain. The Prime Minister needs to apologize to the people of India if you cannot substantiate what has really happened.
Investigate as far as the press release is concerned.
It's our job to ask you questions.
How dare the
It is our job to ask you questions when you commit indiscretions, when you commit blunders that compromise with India's territorial integrity. It is our job to question you when you treat India's territorial boundaries as a real estate transaction. We will not allow it to happen.
Will you hold your punches for a minute for both sides, please? 1 second. Will you hold your punches? Will you pull your punches for a minute and let me ask you 2 questions, please? Now you can go on and on like this. By the way, 1 second. First of all, 2 straight questions. Say yes or no. Tell me, Sanjay Jha, did you say that the maps were part of the MoU? Did Abhishek Singhvi at the Congress press conference say that? Yes or no? Don't give me a long-winded reply. You are being accused of misleading the nation right here on the Newshour by the BJP spokesperson.
Absolute rubbish.
Rubbish what?
Absolute
did you say?
Rubbish. I want to tell the viewers on the Newshour today, I'm telling the viewers on the Newshour today that those maps were submitted.
I'm going to pull out that clip. I'm requesting our producers to pull out that clip.
They were signed.
No, I'll pull out the clip.
The party owes an explanation to the people of India.
No, I'll pull out that clip and one of you will have to apologize for that. But, do you think, Sambit Patra, do you visualize or fantasize of a situation where...
Can a government issue a wrong map?
Exactly.
Even if it is not part of an appended to the MoU.
No,
this kind of technical quibbling
from
a state government after a visit from a dignitary abroad.
The fact that MoUs are not signed with maps. So trying to say that
did
the
anyone
please try and understand,
suppose to diplomacy of this country. None of you should have said that. But all of you were saying that the MoU should have been pulled down. Secondly, well, yes.
Was it not issued by the state government?
You also saw what
in the context of
Sambit, listen. Sambit, listen. You know what? First of all, what investigation? Please.
We'll see to it that heads roll.
Please understand one. Then 1 second. You can't play on both sides. First of all, I do not think Kamal Mitra Chana. By the way, you know, Maruf and Joyant, do you realize you've just been censored here by the BJP spokesperson? But since you have been, and since 1 second, Maruf wants to come. My only point is that it does not diminish whether it's part of the MoU or part of a press release. It does not diminish the colossal nature of the mistake. I mean, I do not think that Sambit Patra would have been so tolerant today had the Bihar government issued this kind of a map, or for example the Assam government had issued a map, because they are JDU and Congress party governments. But because it's the Gujarat government, you are so utterly forgiving.
No.
Utterly forgiving.
Absolutely no.
Well, don't.
Absolutely no. I have a press release over here when for the Panchashil meeting, Nirmala Sitharaman and our respected Vice President had gone to China. They had in fact asked for a clarification from the Chinese government because of their wrongful depiction of map.
I'm going to the clip. I think now. Now serious charges have been made. Maruf, 1 minute. Maruf, some fairly serious charges have been made. Some hot words have been exchanged. And I think the BJP representative has accused the Congress representative of lying. And I think the issue has become more serious than when we began. I will now play the clip, Sambit Patra. But you know, here on the Newshour, we have one rule. What is on tape is evidence. And what has been spoken cannot be taken back. What has been spoken cannot be twisted. So, Mr. Patra, for your kind information and also for that of Sanjay Jha, here is the clip of what Abhishek Manu Singhvi said. Ladies and gentlemen, when you watch this clip, think of one thing. Is Singhvi saying the mistake is on the map? Of the map is on the MoU, is part of the MoU, or is Singhvi saying it is part of the press release? Okay, here's the clip. We're coming back. One of these sides, one of these two will have to say sorry in 2 minutes. Let's play the clip.
You will see clearly that Arunachal Pradesh A, in the map distributed by the Constitutional Functionary Additional Chief Secretary of Gujarat, is shown in dotted lines clearly as a disputed territory. Please mark that the main lines are clear and these are very indistinct lines. So Arunachal Pradesh is dotted. It is more like a disputed territory.
Say sorry, Sambit.
No. Even I have the press release.
I just played out the tape. I don't know what you're talking about. I heard him there. He said, no, 1 second. If you were right, I would have backed you, but you're not.
The MoU should be pulled down.
What did he say?
In the press release, it is written.
No, what did he say, Sambit? Sambit, what did he say? You know, that piece of paper you're waving, even I have a copy of it. Even I have a copy of that piece. There's nothing original in the piece of paper that you're reading. But you said that the BJP...
Let us try to introspect why India makes these mistakes.
No, but you know, you're right here.
We are looking into it. But why the Congress misled by saying that the MoU should be pulled down?
Okay, so Mr.
And Arnav, you yourself
You want me to play the clip once more? I'm going to play the clip once more.
That's what the Congress was demanding.
I think
Sanjay Jha,
brazen and blatant tonight.
No, you see, either on fact, I said on fact. What is a fact is a fact. He says out there, and Maruf, I'm coming to you now.
The fact is that Abhishek Manu...
1 second, Sambit Patra, I've heard you now, please. Sambit Patra, please, I've heard you there. Don't show off your iPad out there. My question is, what does he say? He says the maps distributed by the constitutional functionary, the additional chief secretary of Gujarat are showing the wrong map. You see, so he's talking about the press release. He's not talking about the MoU. MoUs are not distributed by the additional chief secretary of Gujarat. So you were wrong there, Maruf Raza. What's going on now? Why is it getting so difficult? What is happening? Is it being seen as a political loss by Sambit Patra if he accepts it? And Maruf and Joyanta, I'm coming to you both. Maruf first. Yes, Maruf.
Arnab, thank God you've given me a chance after wanting to come to me for 15 minutes. But let me tell you, it is a cartographic goof up. Now, why are we making it into a political issue? I mean, the Congress spokesperson here is thumping his chest and saying that you guys have got it all wrong. When you go back into history, the series of screw-ups that have led to India's China policy, bulk of them are the responsibility of Congress and their leaders. I have it in a conversation with a former army chief who then met the then Prime Minister, who was a Congress Prime Minister, who told him that our China policy will be what he had inherited from his predecessors, and that is don't upset the Chinese. And that is a legacy that the MEA is following even now. Although the government has changed, the diplomats and the bureaucrats haven't changed. China does not accept the maps that India puts across to them, except for the middle sector, which has Nepal and other parts of it in it. And therefore, the Chinese are going to grab this map unless we formally dismiss it.
Formally, yes.
In a national, in a national statement saying this is nothing. Now, there is no legal rule which says that MOUs and press release cannot carry maps with them. If it has the blessings of a government spokesman, it is taken seriously by the adversarial
Obviously.
party. I agree entirely with what Mr. Pawan Verma has said, that it took us more years to wake up to China's development all along the border. Today they can deploy a division of 8 men with equipment every 36 hours. There are 73 roads that need to be made. We have only made 17 roads in 10 years. We are still lagging behind because we don't have the resources, we don't have the attention, we have basically wrong given in 3 different ministries which are trying to play father to the Chinese policy.
Maruk, let me remind you, this is a government that is trying its best
is an embarrassment.
What are you going on?
Who understand issues? So if Mr. Jha or Mr. Patra defend their government's line, they have both.
I have a feeling, tonight.
for having slept through it.
We are trying our best to see to it that the mistake is undone.
Well, do it then. You have been just batting on the all. You know, you have done everything. No, Mr.
Patra. But let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you, don't ask for an investigation. Make a specimen of the guy who has embarrassed the country.
Oh yes, we say so.
You
And
cannot
because
cut and paste from Wikipedia
because we know
and put Indian territory up for ransom.
Absolutely. And let me say this, that the Doordarshan newsreader who read out the name of the Chinese leader as 11 Jinping was sacked. Now I want to know what happens in the Gujarat government. Do the same rules apply for members of the Gujarat government as they do for casual newsreaders at Doordarshan? And if not, why not? Jayanta Ghoshal. I don't think we are getting a sorry from Sambit Patra tonight, but his attempt to put the argument on the other side has clearly failed. Yes.
No, why failed or not?
No, I appreciate.
Sanjay was asking for the MOUs to be cancelled. Ask Sanjay why he was asking the MOUs to be cancelled. You were also asking the MOUs to be pulled down. Why were you all asking the MOUs to be pulled down if the maps are not included in the MOU? That's what my question is.
No, don't use a red herring. Don't use a red herring. I think at this point of time,
no one is using any kind of herring. You have used this country to only satisfy your satiety of power. No one else is using any herrings over here.
Jayanta Ghoshal, please, 3 minutes into the debate. There's a big fight over the map controversy and neither side is giving up yet. Yes, please.
Arnab, I appreciate your approach of the debate. You are not supporting any particular party. You have criticized the role of the Congress government also. But now, what BJP government has done, we cannot say that there is no FOFA. We cannot say that there is no mistake. But the unfortunate part is that the tutu mama, what Pawan said, that is the problem of our diplomacy. Diplomacy should not see in the prism of the party politics. It's not the issue of Congress versus BJP. But the problem is that the mistake, we have to accept that it is a mistake, it's a fault, it's a FOFA. If we don't accept it, whether it is in MOU or whether it is in the press release, that technical debate is also not very important, because why you are not giving importance to the press releases also? Press release is also very important thing, but because through press releases you are ventilating your idea, your content of the MOU, and through the map is very sensitive. So far China is concerned, we have criticized the role of Nehru on the map issue also.
That's right.
Lot of suspicion in the South Bloc on China, and after 62. What action Nehru took, that also several questions BJP also raised. Even the role of Panikkar as ambassador, he was close to Sarojini Naidu, and a lot of history. I don't want to go to the history.
I think
but we should say that we are sorry. Then the matter.
We are not getting that tonight. We are not getting that sorry. We are not getting that apology. We are not getting that apology.
Our intentions are absolutely clear, and you'd all agree to the fact that we have a Prime Minister today.
Please, now you repeated that many times. Has anyone said that Modi did it deliberately?
And he took up the issue.
Is anybody saying that Narendra Modi asked for this to be done, or he did it deliberately? What we are saying is that the Gujarat government committed an error which is unforgivable and which has huge consequences.
To Sambit and his government.
Aksai Chin has 37,000 square kilometers. You gave it away. Arunachal Pradesh is 87,000 square kilometers. You gave it away. What would you say to the people of Arunachal Pradesh and those people in Aksai Chin now that you let them down? I mean, for God's sake, don't make everything an issue of political hubris out here, Sanjay. Yes, please, Kamal Mitra Chinoy, last word. Closing the debate, getting no apology, have to move on to debate number 2. Kamal Mitra Chinoy, what's the point you're making?
I want to make the point that this is not a party issue, this is a national issue. And therefore, we should treat it from our vantage point of looking to the country's interests. And what has been said shows a mistake has been made. When other mistakes have been made, there have been apologies, there have been corrections. This time, why is there a refusal to
Absolutely.
admit that something
There
went
should be
wrong?
no tolerance
We are not
for this.
gods. We all make mistakes. All
There should be
political
no
parties
tolerance
make
for
a
this.
mistake at some time
Before
or another.
knowing whether there was any kind of mistake or not, how can one issue an apology? Give time for the investigation. Kiren Rijiju has told.
Investigation,
He's
I'm
looking
sorry.
into it, ascertaining the
You're
truth of
diluting
it.
this
We
now.
would surely take action if there was any kind of
Mistake.
clerical error. We will
You are
surely
still-
take action.
you are
But
still
give some
doubting
time.
the
advice
These
to
issues
Samved.
will
Mr.
be high.
Patra,
These
you are
issues
still
will be
doubting
high.
the
Arnav-
The international-
Arnav has been showing
Mr.
that
Patra,
paper.
you're still doubting
It has
whether
come.
the mistake took place. The map
Abhishek
is there for
Singhvi has
everyone
come
to
on this
see.
channel.
we all
That
are
has been
mature
shown.
people over
The-
here.
the mistake is clear.
How are you
I'm
saying
saying
Why
tonight-
are you digging yourself into a hole?
Let the investigation take place. Let us see. The Gujarat government has categorically mentioned that the map was showing the location of the two provinces.
And
Let us
which
see what the whole
provinces?
issue was all about.
Which provinces? Which provinces? Name the provinces. Name it. Name it. Now enough, Sambit.
Name-
Let's name it. Which province?
It's about Guangdong province and
Guangdong.
the Guangzhou city of
Am I asking
China.
about Guangdong province or Guangzhou city? I'm asking about Arunachal Pradesh and Aksai Chin, for God's sake. You seem to be more concerned you seem to be more
map
concerned.
was about those two
You seem to be
provinces.
more
The map
concerned that
says
you're
they
showing the
have
map
not
of Chinese
let the
provinces
investigation
right
go on
rather
as the
than
Home
that of
Ministry
India
has said.
wrong.
Thereafter, let us see what happens.
You seem to
why
be more
don't we want
concerned
give
that you
time
did
for
not make a
investigation?
mistake with the Chinese
why
map.
Does no,
Why are you more
does
concerned
no one
about
give
whether
time
you or
for
not didn't make a
investigation?
mistake
We are
with the
all-
Chinese map?
We are
One
all
advice
people
to
of
the government,
maturity.
very
We
well-meaning
should have
advice.
patience on these issues.
Well, one piece of advice comes your way, solicited or unsolicited, from Pawan Verma, with whom I'm closing the debate. Yes, Mr. Verma, go ahead, go right ahead.
One line advice, and it's a well-meaning advice.
Should have more patience.
Well-meaning advice. Somebody listen for a second, my young friend. My young friend, listen for a minute. One last advice. Please don't carry foreign policy at such a breathless pace. It requires careful thought and preparation and planning. Otherwise, mistakes can happen. This is my advice to you, both as a friend and a
from me
diplomat.
also, sir. You are my senior. That please, for God's sake, do not politicize all these issues. They are national issues on which all
No,
the
I don't doubt the
Oh,
intent,
standing
Samvit.
together.
Well, you know-
We should be
Advice,
saying-
practice
All right.
questioning
Sambit
the
Patra, Kamal
integrity
Mitra, Chunai,
of
Sanjay
India.
Jha, Maruf
No
Raza,
one is
Jayanta Ghoshal and Pawan Verma.
What do we do?
Pawan, I don't know what to do.
What do we do with the map?
Well, tell the Chinese it was a wrong map and send them the right map if they have any doubts. Thank you for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight.
Announce it.